Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome to Rats on Film, the show where a bunch of film rats talk about and rank movies. You betcha. Today on the show, we are talking about the Coen Brothers. We've got a selection of films from the Coens. On the show with me today, I have Webb.
Howdy.
Johnny.
I was going to say howdy.
Beat you to it.
Yeehaw.
Yeah.
And I'm your host, Xander. Welcome to the show, everybody. Howdy's a very, I don't know if it's set in a Coen Brothers movie off the top of my head, probably like True Grit, but it feels very Coen Brothers.
They surely say it in No Country for Old Men at least once.
I don't know that they do, actually.
Not even like the convenience store guy?
No, I think he's like, excuse me? Or, yeah, something like that. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's just like that.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're selling.
Sir?
Okay, so Johnny and Webb and I were discussing doing an episode on the Coens, and they have too many movies. They have a lot of movies, and they have a lot of really good ones, and a lot of movies that we wanted to talk about. So for this episode, we've just selected 5 to start out with. There's not really a rhyme or reason to it. It's just 5 that we like, and I think at a certain point we'll revisit and add some more to the list. But for now, we just went through 5 movies on their filmography. Tried to get a little bit of a range of different stuff that they've done.
But we also kind of just went for the 5 ones we probably liked the most, right? Is that
Yeah.
maybe the best American filmmakers? And
Wow,
by that,
that's high praise.
Okay, but by that I don't just mean filmmakers born in America. I mean making films about real American types of people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the filmmakers that represent America.
Yes. Because they go all over
Interesting.
to different states and different communities of America and really highlight unique voices and culture within the country and make fun of it, but also in a caring way. I don't know. There's something about it that is so unique to them.
It does feel like it comes from a place of just like actually knowing all the different people in it sort of intimately, I think.
Yeah, that's what I think it is. It's like they make fun of the places and the people. But also you could tell that they have affection and love for it because they're putting so much effort and energy into accurately representing each different place and the people that live there.
Exactly.
Well, it's weird too because I feel like their stuff is so heightened in a lot of ways and almost caricature-y, but then at the same time, when you watch a lot of their movies, I know Webb was talking about the guy at the convenience store. They feel like real people.
Yeah.
It feels like that's just a real guy that they plucked out and put in this movie. Even though so much of the dialogue and the way that the films are made is so heightened and so specific and so, I don't know, zany. So it's an interesting balance that they walk with that.
But I think it's because of their focus on setting. Like setting is so important to all of their movies. And the more we do this podcast and watch movies, the more I realize how much I have an affinity for movies that really focus on setting. Webb and I were talking about this the other day, so it was like already on my mind. And then after we talked about it, I watched The Big Lebowski, and not to get into reviews or anything, but the very start of The Big Lebowski is the cowboy character giving the monologue, right?
Yeah.
And he said, part of it, he says, but there was a lot about the dude that didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. And a lot about where he lived likewise. But then again, maybe that's why I found the place so darned interesting. And then later on, he says he's the man for his time and place. I think that right there, even though that's only in that one movie, is really something that ties all of their movies together.
Yeah.
I think there is something to most of them do have a really specific focus on where they're set. And interestingly too, even ones that aren't original, there's one on this list today that's not an original story and one that's like kind of not an original story. But yeah, they are very focused on where the setting is and how to make that sort of like a character in the movie itself.
Totally.
Yeah.
All right, you guys want to get into the ranking?
Yeah.
All right, first up on our list today, Raising Arizona, 1987.
Hilarious.
This is pretty fresh in my mind. Me and Johnny watched this one together. Pretty great. This is like the second time I had like watched it in the past year, probably.
Wow.
It was also my like first time seeing it in the past year too. So I don't know. It's fun to watch again. It's really, I don't know how much we want to like compare these like right off the bat, but like sort of its similarities with No Country for Old Men.
Yeah.
But it's also crazy to think about like how different it is tonally.
It being similar to No Country in what ways?
Plot-wise,
Oh
it's
my
almost
God, yeah.
exactly the same.
Like someone finds a MacGuffin and takes it, and it's a big chase.
Yeah. Johnny,
I
what
can
was
see
the
that.
breakdown that you came up with yesterday?
It was like, yeah, somebody finds something and they take something they're not supposed to take, right?
Mhm.
They're on the run, and it's about, for them, it's about family. But somebody, like a force of nature, is chasing them. A mysterious, evil type character is chasing them. And then in the end, they lose what it is that they wanted, but they have a dream about their life going forward and how they're going to move on from there. Like, there's a lot of insane similarities between the movie, but the tone is completely different.
Yeah.
I can see the comparison. I guess my initial reaction was, "What the hell?" But now I'm like, okay, I see. I see.
Like,
the
even
comparison.
think of the end. The end of both movies is literally the same.
But it is a bit
In
different
some
though,
ways,
because
yeah.
the character in No Country is not the character that had the journey. Really, they're more of like an
that's true,
observer
too.
of the journey.
No, but that's true. But he did have a journey. It's not this. But you're right. It's not the same. It's not the person who took the thing. But
the thing,
right.
yeah. But the whole time, like watching both of them, it was so weird just to think that like it's the same guys that made these. Like tonally, they could not be more different. But I love it. I love that it's just a live action cartoon. I think Nicolas Cage plays like a very interesting role. Like it's probably one of my favorite performances of his.
Yeah, it's a great one.
There's something like really sort of earnest about it that he plays really well that like I just can't. Maybe I'm not like the biggest like Cage fan, but I just can't think of like a role that like I'm sort of so compelled by apart from this movie.
Yeah, Nick Cage. This movie for me has one of the greatest intros of any movie. I feel like the opening of the movie is so excellent. It's very pacey. It's really fun.
Mm-hmm.
It sets you up on like the tone of the world and the vibe, and it introduces you to who he is as a character right away. Which is, I think, just so funny that's his name. H.I. McDonough. It's great. And I think that just the snap and the wit of the dialogue in that, and the way that it's edited to sort of play the jokes, you know, him going to his parole hearing, cutting to him robbing up another store and getting right back. I think it plays really, really well.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it literally is a Looney Tunes movie, though, which is so great. And I agree with what you guys are saying about Nick Cage and his performance. And there's something, too, that the way that High talks, he talks very sophisticated. It adds to his character, right? Because you could argue, oh, he's not the smartest guy, right? He's not the most well-equipped to live in society. But he's extremely thoughtful. And like, specifically, there's the time where he's going to leave the family to go rob the banks because he feels like he can't handle the family life. And he's writing this letter to be like, I'm sorry I failed you. I'm going to do it. I'm going to send you the money. But the way he writes, it's almost like a Shakespearean thing, his language. But then at the same time, he has this wacky accent and monotone way of speaking that sounds so dull. You know what I mean? Like it's something about the juxtaposition, and it really makes you drawn to his character because of his speech. And like you said at the beginning, Xander, like his opening monologue and how great that is. And that's a perfect example of it as well.
I read recently, actually, like after having watched the movie, apparently the Coen Brothers like wanted to write for a character who's like all they have to read is like the Bible. And so like the way that they speak is kind of influenced by that. And it's like,
that makes a lot of sense.
You know what? That like, right? Isn't that so good? I read that. I was like, oh my God.
I'm excited to learn that too, because like I had been thinking this, but I did not know that. But it comes across, you know what I mean? Without knowing the little fact.
Yeah. It's sort of like someone who's read a thesaurus to try and sound smart almost.
Yeah.
But he is thoughtful. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sure. It's just like you write your essay and then you right click every word and say like, what's a better word for this? It's that kind of energy.
There's almost like, there's more like old like English to his speech though, which is great. Like what's his name? Nathan Arizona is like asking how they came in. And he's like, yonder window. It's like what he says to him. Yeah. And it's like, what? Who is this guy? It's so good.
I think my favorite part in the whole movie, or I have two favorite parts. One is the chase scene. Because
Yes,
I mean, that's
100%.
just pure
It's great.
Looney Tunes again. Like the part with the dog and the stupid
God.
chain. It's literally a Tom and Jerry bit.
Some great,
you know what I mean? But it's
some great sound
it's
effects
shot so
there
well.
too.
Yeah, Johnny, 100%. The way that it's shot is really incredible because it is Looney Tunes, and it's funny because I think that one of my notes for it was, as someone who is an editor and who likes editing, the use of insert shots in that scene specifically, in a lot of the Coen Brothers stuff, but in that sequence is so great and it works so well. And it almost is kind of like an animation sensibility where they sort of remove all information, visual information, except for what you need to see, like the dog chain or the spike on the ground or whatever. Everything's really dark. You don't really pay attention to anything else, so that when these inserts come and they play really fast, your mind and eyes can read it really quickly.
Yeah.
And it keeps the scene really kinetic and really like it flows so well. And I think that that's not often seen in live action. I feel like that's way more of a thing you see in animation, and it's really cool to watch.
Well, I think it shows that it was very well planned. The sequence was very well planned because clarity, like you're saying, clarity is everywhere. Sometimes scenes in live action aren't planned as well, and then you have in the editing, you're trying to stitch together whatever you can to make it look good.
It's interesting because it's one of the most chaotic scenes I can think about, but it's also, very clear. So it's a weird juxtaposition, which honestly is maybe just their whole thing is just juxtaposition.
Yeah. And my other favorite part is when they steal the baby. They steal Nathan Jr. probably. He takes it down to Ed in the car, and they're sitting in the car, and the way he's talking about the baby is so funny, where he's like, the other babies were good, but this is the best one. The other babies were pretty good, but this one's better. And then she's like, he's an angel. He's like, yeah, but he's a little bit bad too. He's got that look in his eye. Like there's something, that part is so fucking funny. The way that, but it also speaks to his character, right? About how he sees a badness within himself.
Yeah.
And he's not ready to let it go. And then even when it's not his own son, he's projecting that onto the baby, right?
I love Ed too. We shouted at Nick Cage. I also think Holly Hunter is great in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
She is almost like the other end of the spectrum where you expect her to be more straight edge, more finger on the pulse kind of vibe. She's a police officer. When the movie starts, she's very like no nonsense, like turn to the left, that's it. And as the movie goes on, you sort of realize that she's got a little bit of the chaos in her. She's got a little bit of the edge to her as well. And I like them sort of being flip sides of the same coin.
Yeah, she's an interesting character because she's reconciling, like, where do I draw the line, right?
Yeah.
I'm committing a crime for a baby, but you can't steal diapers. But can you? Because kidnapping a baby is worse than stealing a diaper. Do you know what I mean?
They had more than they needed. They had more than they could handle.
Yeah. They said it.
Well, I'd like to think that they stay together at the end of the movie. I guess I'm realizing.
Yeah, no, I think they do too. I think it's sometimes too about like it's easy to identify the flaws in a relationship, but sometimes you're overlooking the positives of the relationship and what the love gives you in a positive way. You know what I mean? It's easy to find the negative.
Yeah, it's a really fun ride of a movie. It's so crazy. I genuinely don't think there's any other movie like it in terms of tone. It's very unique. Even other Coen Brothers movies, I think, are a little bit different. They're not quite, at least the ones that I've seen, are not quite the same as this one.
Yeah, there's something unique about it for sure.
It's for a good time, right? But the emotional beats still hit. This movie stands out as just being a fun, enjoyable,
it's a fun watch.
Ride. Yeah.
It's very sweet.
Yeah, it's like a little contained adventure.
Yeah.
All right, start this one on the top for everybody.
Sounds good.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
All right, next up on the list, Fargo, 1996. Little bit of a gap between these two.
Yeah.
Where's John Goodman in this one?
Yeah. He could have been the husband, right? No, actually,
the husband's good in it though.
I really like
this
guy. Yeah, he's great. He's like so. There's something like so vacant about him that's like really kind of charming. I don't know.
I think it's interesting to talk about the husband for the very first part of this conversation.
Yeah.
I think no, genuinely, because that is the anchor of this movie, right? Is the husband and Marge, right? And Marge's regular life and an excited family expecting a baby. You know what I mean? It's a movie about violence and how like senseless greed just brings about more violence and more evil and more terrible things, and it just keeps going and going and going till it's gone way, 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 way too far. But they are the anchor of the movie, right? And that's what makes the movie unique and wonderful. I think Fargo is an incredible movie.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said, Johnny. And what I think is interesting about that is one of my notes that I have written down is that Marge is the anchor of this movie for sure. And she's not introduced for the first 30 minutes of the movie. So much happens to set things up. And then when she enters at the point that it makes sense for her to enter that story, it really morphs into what the movie's going to be. Like, I don't think the first time I saw it, I expected it to be her as the protagonist, especially when you watch the movie and, you know, you're 30 minutes in, you're following Jerry and you're following, you know, these two crooks and all these little characters. And then all of a sudden this cop gets introduced and she really, you know, grounds it and gives you the heart. It's not actually that Jerry comes around and fixes things or anything like that. Like he's a piece of shit at the start and he's a piece of shit at the end.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because everybody, it's interesting you say that. I mean, I didn't think about that she appears so late into it. It's funny though, because the movie's really about a bunch of depraved people, right?
Yeah.
And she comes in and at first it's funny. You know what I mean? Like she has a sense of humor and also she's almost the audience a little bit. Like you're coming upon this crime scene. You're going, oh
geez.
yeah, like, geez, this is fucking crazy. What the hell? You know what I mean? And you almost, as an audience, you almost write her off a little bit. You not write her off, but you're kind of a little bit like,
she's not going to solve this.
She's not ready for this fucking crazy shit that's going on. You know what I mean? She is not equipped to be the hero to stop these insane people, right? That's sort of how it's presented, right? But then the movie goes on to show that you're wrong and that sometimes like your outlook on life and just how you choose to live every day is what is the most important.
Well, it's interesting too, because with her character, there's the scene where the guy from high school calls her up on a date because he wants to go out with her and he lies to her and she tries to be so nice. And it really shows who she is as a person. Like she's really trying to be kind and do the right thing all the time, even when people are doing the wrong thing around her.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really the message of the whole movie, right? Like, to me, the most powerful, memorable line of the movie is at the very end when she's arresting him, right? And they're driving back in her cop car, and she's just going like, look at everything. Like, and you did all this just for a little bit of money.
Yeah.
And look, it's a beautiful day. Like, I feel like that line, look, it's a beautiful day, is like the most important, memorable line in the movie. Because it's not a beautiful day either. It's a fucking dreary ass day, and she's got a murderer in her fucking back seat. You know what I mean? But it's her outlook on life. She's choosing.
Yeah, she's seeing the beauty in the world.
Exactly. And that's the difference between her and every other character in the movie, who it starts out being like, oh, we're gonna do this hustle, then oh, we got seen by two people, oh, we gotta kill them. And it just keeps spiraling and spiraling and spiraling until like how many people die? Like 7, 8? You know what I mean?
And the other thing too about that is it literally comes from, you didn't want to put the temporary tags up. Like I kind of love that about this movie. It's like the little things, right?
Yeah.
Jerry comes in, fucking moron. One of the biggest film assholes in my opinion.
Yeah,
in a great way. I think it's a great character.
I love that, like in that I think it's like the first scene you see of him like at his actual job. And I love how the customer himself is like a pushover too. But like it's just showing you like how much of a pushover like Jerry is, like being pushed over by this guy who's like also kind of like,
he's pathetic though.
Yeah, pathetic is a great word for it, Johnny. He's so pathetic. But it just shows you know, he thinks I've got this genius plan. You guys just grab my wife, we ask my father-in-law for this money, he'll just give it to me and then I'll give you half of it, and then everybody wins. No one gets hurt and everyone goes on their merry ways. Why he thinks that this will work is insane. He thinks, oh, it's perfect, everything will just go exactly how I expect it to, and none of it does.
But it's the greed of it, right?
Yeah, for sure. He's just blinded by, oh, I can get this money, no problem.
And you're right, he's a great villain, because so often in movies, villains are portrayed to be so clever, so strong, so powerful, so commanding. And he is the complete opposite of all of those things. And I think a lot of times that's true to life. That
I was going to say,
people,
he feels so much more real for that.
Yeah.
Like just
that's
a piece
the kind of person
guy
who would do some shit like this.
Yeah.
His arrest at the end too just sums it all up, right?
God,
him just screaming and crying and trying to crawl out the window of his motel. It's funny. Johnny was like, it's a really good thing we started with talking about the husband. I was going to start talking about the fact that this movie opens with an insane thing. That it opens with, this is a true story.
Yes,
and it's
I wanted
not
to
a
talk
fucking
about
true
that.
story.
Oh, yes.
So what do you guys think about that?
I think it's fine.
No, not. But what do you think? Why do you think they did it?
I think it's just to remind you that real people do act like this, even though the movie feels so caricature-y. Again, kind of like all their movies do in a lot of ways. The fact that it feels that way, it's like, no, these are real people. And I think that there's a lot of things where maybe subconsciously, when you watch the scene of the girls, when she's interviewing the girls, and
that's
like,
one of the best scenes.
Kind of funny looking. It's like funny looking how it just, I don't know, just funny.
Just general.
And it's
funny.
like, that's actually, maybe if you watch that without that scene in the beginning, you think like, oh, there's, that's just a funny scene. They just wrote that. But if you watch it being like, this is a true story, you're like, oh, I guess those people really said that. That's all they knew.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to think about. I've seen like, I always thought it was more just to get people to buy into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Buy into the story, have a greater suspension of disbelief. But then I've also seen people talk about like that it is to what you're saying, Xander, like the movie is about deceit and about lying, and they're deceiving you. You know what I mean? Like the filmmakers are deceiving you, which I think is an interesting thought. I don't know that necessarily is what it is, but it
cool.
It does add to it.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw this one. I think this is the first Coens I saw, so I probably saw it in like middle school, maybe high school, and I thought it was real for a few years.
Why wouldn't you?
I thought it was real until I heard the story about the woman who went looking for the money and died trying to find the money that gets buried.
How do you know that's a true story, though?
I don't know.
See? How deep does the rabbit hole go?
Dude, I don't know.
At the start, when Webb said howdy and I was going to say howdy, I should have said, this podcast is based on a true story.
So true. You should.
I really got to start thinking about these before.
Like
on the spot, man.
That would have been
It's been bad. Good. I've had a few, like 3 episodes in a row of just fucking stinkers.
The only other thing I have on my notes to shout out is I do want to shout out Steve Buscemi in this movie. I think he rules.
Yeah,
we didn't talk about him at all.
Yeah,
I think
Peter
he's so
Stormare.
good.
I think both of them. Them together. It's a great combo.
The combo of the two of them is really great. One of the best scenes for me is the total fucking silence scene. Just he can't do it. He can't do it.
I really am sort of glued to his performance in this movie, like to the point where like by the time he like dies, I'm like, okay, all right, like it's such a good run. Like all of his, I think his timing is great, dialogue wise, and like just the way he like moves around. Like I'm thinking of him like after he gets shot by Jerry's father-in-law, that he's like going to go bury so he's like holding his neck and he's like going.
He's got like a shitty like, paper towel on his face, and then a piece of snow.
Striking, just like the way he's like kind of like lurking into that ditch to bury.
Well, there's something about the visuals. There's something about the visual in this movie with like the pure white snow and then the blood that gets added to it when they murder the people in the street, and then also the famous wood chipper scene, all the blood getting spewed everywhere. It's so intense to see.
Roger Deakins did this movie.
Yeah, I mean, he's an incredible DP.
And I think there's some behind the scenes that I've seen too where they filmed it, there actually wasn't a lot of snow, and a lot of the snow is fake snow, but it looks great. It looks really good.
But if just comparing like Raising Arizona to this one, that's maybe one of the most noticeable like jumps. I guess tone too, but there's still some comedy like in this movie, but just in the way that it's shot, it's like, oh, okay, you can kind of feel them sort of starting to find, I think, what feels very like Coen Brothers.
I want to go back to really quick to the Carl character, the Steve Buscemi character, and going off of what Johnny was saying about the overall theme as well, where the greed being the ultimate downfall. And you see it in little scenes with him. He doesn't want to pay like a $3 parking ticket because he wanted to go steal a license plate. Yeah. He's literally about to make $10,000 and he doesn't want to pay for a $3 parking ticket, right? He's going to get into a fight with a guy over this. But then he ultimately gets killed because he won't split the car with the guy, even though he just hid almost $1 million in the snow that he's about to go back to.
Yeah.
It's
Why
just
does
never
he give a
ending.
shit?
Yeah.
Why does he give a shit about a couple $1,000s? He should have just bought the car out and then not get chopped up and put in a wood chipper. Like it just shows you how exactly, Johnny. It's never ending.
But this is why their characters in all their movies are so good, because they feel like people who exist beyond this movie, right? Like, I guess he doesn't exist in the future because he died, but in the past, right? He's somebody who's fucking greedy to his fucking core. It's not just the main plot that's driving that. It's everything about him. And even like all the side characters, like we keep talking about the prostitutes that she's interviewing and the husband and all these characters that barely have any lines and barely have any screen time. They do feel like real fucking people, you know?
Yeah, they do.
I think too, we need to talk about like the setting of North Dakota, and we keep talking about the way people are speaking and the way they're so polite. I mean, you just know that is purposeful as juxtaposition for the film, specifically with Jerry, right?
Yeah,
the politeness with the undertone of evil and pettiness.
It's the facade,
It's a facade, exactly. It's just that setting for a movie about such despicable people is truly perfect.
This movie rules. Where do you guys want to put it on the list?
It's above Raising Arizona for me.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah, agreed.
Great.
Same.
It's got the comedy of Raising Arizona and the fun, but it's more complex and the meaning is deeper.
I really want to have breakfast in that kitchen when Marge and her husband first he's making her breakfast, and it's that cozy little nook. That little nook.
I hate to break it to you, Webb. You just love breakfast. I mean, I'd love to see a scene
it's a
in
cozy
a movie where people are eating breakfast and you say like, "Oh man, I want that."
They got the snow outside. Come on, it's a whole vibe.
I know, but we're gonna get to like No Country for Old Men. You're gonna be like, "Damn, I really want to eat breakfast on that ranch."
That sounds good.
It's summertime outside. The sun is shining. You know what I mean? Like, you're just gonna say no matter what. What about in Raising Arizona where they're eating the fucking cereal and they're just like slopping it up? What do you think about that? And they're drinking beer with it.
I'd love some cereal right now.
See, I told you.
Can't say a bad word about it, guys. You can't do it. Find a breakfast scene for us that sucks, and we'll show it to Webb and see if he doesn't like it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's our next episode.
All right, next up, The Big Lebowski, 1998.
Whoa.
I think it's crazy how iconic this movie is.
It's great.
Yeah, the dude abides. Used to be one of my favorite movies. When I first saw it, just like blew my mind just because of how insane it is, right? And it's just such an enjoyable time. And watching it again this time, because I haven't watched it in a little while, there's a lot of complexity and depth to this movie that I think went over my head in the past.
Yeah.
That was blowing my mind a little bit.
What
really?
What examples do you have?
Well, I mean, the movie starts with them talking about, like, I kind of mentioned it before. The cop is giving a monologue talking about the perfect man for the time and place, right?
Yeah.
He makes a point to mention the war going on, the Gulf War, in that opening monologue. Yeah. And I noticed it, and I was thinking, like, that's purposeful. You know what I mean? Like, they're explicitly calling this out. And then I was watching it a little more with that mindset and seeing the connection between that. And I looked up online too. I was reading some other people's analysis because, to be honest, I don't know that much about the Gulf War because I wasn't fucking alive. But for me, I was interpreting it as, you know, the dude being the modern day American, right? He's being juxtaposed by a cowboy who's the old school kind of American view of like an American hero, right? Because they use the word hero as well, but then he's like, oh, that's not the right word, but I don't know what other word to use. And now you've got the dude, and it's somebody who doesn't want anything to do with anything. He just wants to relax and he just does not care, right? Yeah. I am seeing that now as like America's position, like American citizens' position on worldwide politics and worldwide warfare. Just how we're completely uninvolved and we just don't want to hear about it, and we just want to live our peaceful lives not worrying about it, right?
The apathy.
John Goodman's character is represents the military and the way that they're following these rules, and they're going for like swift action every time somebody breaks a rule and violent action, right? Every single character is representative of something in worldwide politics with the early 90s and the Gulf War. And I'm like, this is like blowing my mind a little bit because I used to watch this movie when I was in high school and be like, this is just like a fun stoner movie that's funny. You know what I mean? Yeah. But there's so much depth to it. It was actually like crazy to me.
Going off of what you're saying, Johnny, it's kind of interesting. The feeling of like entitlement that people can maybe have like from forces around them and the circumstances that get put upon them through no action of their own or no cause of their own. The inciting incident is insane. But it sucks you in a really strange way. He gets his house broken into. and someone pees on his rug, and you kind of get sucked into that rug did tie the room together. Like, he kind of does deserve to get that fixed.
Right, yeah.
And then it gets way out of hand.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. It's a slow build, right?
Mm-hmm.
At first, his rug gets fucked up and he's mad about it, but he's like, but what am I going to do? And then Walter is saying to him, well, you know who owes you the rug, really? The other Lebowski. It's his
Big
fucking
Lebowski.
fault, and he's rich anyway. He could pay for it. And then the dude's like, you know what? That's fucking interesting. That's fucking interesting. You know what I mean? And then he's like you're following that logic of like, you know what? This rich guy did cause it. He could give me a rug. It's the least he could do. That's not too much to ask. And it just keeps building in these little ways where now he's involved, right? And he's involved with all these different people and all these different forces.
And it just gets so out of hand.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's one of the things interesting about the movie is like it starts with a really simple incident of just these people break into his house to beat him up for money that he doesn't owe them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like he doesn't even know what they're talking about. It's not even like someone playing them. He genuinely is like, "What? What do you mean? Like, how do I have money? Look at me. I'm in a bathrobe in a shitty apartment."
Puts his sunglasses on out of the toilet.
And it just escalates to him doing a drop. All of a sudden there's all these other characters showing up. And you almost can't even follow all of the pieces as you're going. Which is sort of, I think,
that's what he keeps saying to people. Like, there's a lot of moving parts to this. He keeps saying that to people.
It's intentional because that's how the character is. Like, he has no idea who all these people are, how they're all connected, or what's going on. He's getting toes. There's the Europeans that are trying to extort him from. It's just so many things, and you're just like, what is even happening anymore? I thought he just needed a rug back because someone peed on his fucking rug.
I think also performance-wise, this is one of the best of all the Coen Brothers movies. With specifically Jeff Bridges as the dude. Have you ever seen somebody embody a character more than this?
Fantastic.
It's crazy.
Hey, that's just like your opinion, man.
It's just like everything. I don't know. Yeah, that's just your opinion, man. I used to say that a lot, and I still say it sometimes. It's such an iconic line, and also Walter. You know what I mean?
Oh
like John Goodman as Walter is
funny.
Such a funny character. He steals so many scenes.
Every scene he's
the worst.
It's great.
He steamrolls everything. The dude is not commanding enough to give a shit. You know what I mean? Like he starts to give a shit towards once it gets fucking insane, but it's already too far gone at that point. And then you've got Steve Buscemi in this one too. Donnie just never knows what's going on. Just always like is zoning out or doing something for the first part of the conversation and comes in partway through. About? I am the walrus. I am the walrus. That's so
such a good
funny.
one.
How did they write the dialogue of this fucking movie for real?
Know.
Like the dialogue of this movie, there is a plot happening, right? But most of the time, the dialogue is not even directly tied to the plot.
No, that's true.
It's crazy how they thought of how to make it so entertaining and how to have the plot drive forward, but with them just talking about nonsense over and over and over again. I mean, the part where they're getting coffee, Walter and the dude, and he just starts talking about the fucking toe. That's one of my favorite parts of the whole movie. Yep. I could get you a toe by this evening. I could get you a toe with nail polish by 3:00.
I love the little hand gesture he does of that too. Like he's like sitting up, like looking around. Yeah. Oh, it's the best.
But you know what's funny about that too? He's fucking right. Like he's a freak, but he was right about the toe.
It could just be somebody else's toe.
Yeah, and it was somebody else's toe.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. I think this movie too, you know, amongst all of this stuff, it like the Coen Brothers, you brought up the dialogue, Johnny. I think they are, in my mind, I think one of the hallmarks of them is their dialogue. It's one of the things that I think I can see a scene, and it has a particular cadence to it. You know, we were talking about that in like the opening of Raising Arizona. Like it has this sort of unique, like punchy quality to it. But it also, the way that they did some of the gags in this movie, I think are so good and a lot different than more dialogue driven stuff. One of my favorite gags of all time is the door jam.
Oh, it's the best. It's the best gag in the whole movie.
Well, there's just something so old school about, like, it's so timeless, like a gag like that.
It's like a Looney Tunes gag again.
Yeah, and the timing is perfect.
It's like a Wile E. Coyote thing.
The shot is perfect. Like the time in between, like him leaving the shot and then the door opening, it's just everything about
it's like a millisecond after he leaves frame.
Do you know what it is too, though? I think it's how long they spend on it, right? It's it's just long enough that you think he put effort into, you know what I mean? Like nailing it. There's enough time spent that you're like, oh, there's effort. Like this means something. And it immediately is dog shit.
It's also funny too, because you've seen that apartment the whole movie. You've seen that door open multiple times, but it hasn't clicked, right?
Yeah, you just don't think about it. Yeah.
And then it happens and you're like, oh my fucking God, he fucking lives there. Like, it's just so good.
Another gag I love is the notepad when he's in the porn king's suite or whatever.
Oh yeah.
The guy gets on the phone and he writes something down on the notepad, and the dude goes over and you at first you're like, wow, he's fucking smart.
Yeah,
this is a good idea. He's gonna see what he wrote down. Like he scribbles over it, and it's just a dude with a dick. Like, it's just, what is happening? Like, what is this movie? I have no idea what's happening anymore.
It's almost like the one sort of smart, like, piece of, like, noir-ish kind of detective move that, like, the dude does, and it's just instantly subverted.
I feel like after that moment, he just completely gives up in the movie, too. Like, he's in the cop's office, and the cop is like, I want you out of my town, you piece of shit.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
He's like, I wasn't listening. Throws the mug in his fucking face.
I love that scene so much. Then he's in the fucking
taxi. Right, and then he's in the taxi, and he's just mad because he's playing the Eagles, and the guy just throws him out. Like, he just doesn't give a fuck anymore. Like, he started to give a fuck a little bit right before that. And now he's just done with it.
Yeah, then he thought he was smart for a second, and it was ruining him, but I'm done.
I think of the Ashes scene with the it being blown in his face, and then they go bowling.
That's so good, actually. Yeah, I love that. Like, little shot too of foreshadowing of him. Like, he's like been bowling like a perfect game the whole movie.
Yeah.
And then like the one time he doesn't, it's like, oh, weird. There is something that's like. Something about watching it again this time, like on rewatch, that shot, I'm like, oh, I really do actually just feel bad for him. Like, he just looks, I know. He looks so sad. He looks so disappointed in himself. Oh, and I guess we haven't talked about the Jesus, which it's kind of funny because, like, when I think of this movie, I don't really think of that character as much as, like, I think maybe most audiences like do. I feel like
he's one of the iconic characters of the movie that people latch on to.
Yeah, but it really is just kind of.
I mean, he's not in the movie too much.
No,
he's in two
scenes. Yeah. But I was just reminded of him since we were talking about the bowling alley and everything, which that in itself is like a great setting to come back to. I love those. I love the sort of colors there, and I like that atmosphere is like a place for them to just kind of like
home base
talk. Yeah, there was
it's great for visuals and interesting shots.
Yeah.
There's something lost nowadays, I think, about setting dialogue scenes in interesting settings. That dialogue scenes are inherently not super cinematic, so you put in a bowling alley and there's stuff going on, and it adds some kineticism to the scene.
There's a couple of like sort of, even though it takes place in the 90s and is pretty contemporary for the most part, there's something kind of like vaguely 60s about it between the bowling alley and then also like the pornographer's house. It keeps it interesting visually, I would say. Oh, and fucking Philip Seymour Hoffman is in this, which I kind of forget about.
Yeah.
But he's great. He's so good.
He's such a good actor, dude. He's so good.
It's a funny role to see him in.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because I personally don't often care for movies about nothing. I feel like it's a genre that it walks a fine line with me personally, where sometimes I really like them, and sometimes I think I go, oh, I didn't get enough out of that.
But I think too, it is about nothing, but it also is about a lot. You know what I mean? Like it's weird. It's hard to explain, but I think I don't know. There's something about his way about going about life that it is meaningful.
Yeah, I mean, he's got his own philosophy, that's for sure.
And you too can aspire to have a rug that ties the room together.
All right, where would you guys rate it?
Oh, you're asking me?
Sorry.
No, I don't care.
Big for his britches.
Excuse me.
I would put this second personally. I'd put it above Arizona, but below Fargo.
I would do the same.
I might be the odd one and say I kind of like Raising Arizona more than this one, which I know is crazy.
I don't think that's crazy.
We're sipped up, Johnny.
You guys had me outvoted.
You're supposed to crash out now, Webb. You're supposed to crash out and be like, this is what happens when you fuck a stranger in the ass. Do you see what happens? This movie, it's just too iconic. It's too iconic.
Good.
All right. Next up on the list, No Country for Old Men, 2007.
Oh, man.
This movie's crazy, dude.
It's crazy. It's like, I think it's like perfect. I think it's like maybe a perfect movie.
The first time you watch this movie, it is profound. Mm-hmm. It changes the way you look at movies a little bit.
I think so. I don't know. Like, by the time this movie is over, like, there's something that's like really just moving about. I think because it feels so. I mean, first off, it's like there's no music, right? Like, that's a big sort of choice.
Which is very interesting. The no music.
It's something that you don't even notice when you watch it.
Yeah.
But I think if you watched a lot of other movies and there was no music in it, you'd be like, something's wrong here. Do you know what I mean?
And
like,
there are other movies have great music too.
Yeah. It's so hard to imagine it with music. Like, I feel like it would sort of like ruin it in a weird way. Like, there's something.
See, I don't agree with that. I think I could see it scored.
Really?
But the fact that it works not scored says a lot about how compelling it can be.
Well, and I think there's just so, like, it's such a dark movie, especially compared to probably all the other ones we've talked about so far.
It's
so I know Fargo's dark, but in No
Mm-hmm.
Country you have such a bleaker approach with, like, you're following this cop who, like, kind of doesn't really do anything in this movie. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's late.
Yeah.
He's late to, like, every scene. The one scene that he, like, could potentially do something, he, like, just completely misses him, and Anton gets away. And then, not to mention, like, the protagonist that we follow for most of the movie just dies kind of unceremoniously towards the end. So I just feel like there's something that there was a right choice made, I think, by withholding the music, because I think it just sort of helps sell how dark this, like, movie already is.
Well, but that's the thing about this movie and why it's so mind-bending, right? Is that it makes you think it's going to be one thing, and then it pulls the rug out from under you and it's about something totally different.
Yeah.
And then you go, wait, what the fuck? And then you really have to think about it, because the movie just ends, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't end the way you think it's going to end. It doesn't go the way you think it's going to go. And it's unsatisfying. And I think what you're saying about the music, like, it adds to the level. You don't get a satisfying little song at the end of each scene to, like, wrap up the moment. You know what I mean? Like, that's why it's so bizarre to watch for the first time. But it makes you think. It makes you double back and be like, the fuck did I just watch? You know what I mean? That's like a profound experience.
It's very like existential too, especially with like it ending on, like, talking about his dream that he had about his father and stuff, and his sort of inability to, like, understand, or not even understand, but just sort of grasp the world and all the actions happening around him.
This is so interesting because this is sort of unintentional, because I didn't really connect Raising Arizona and this movie when I watched it again for this. But I see where you guys are coming from with that.
Yeah.
What I think is fascinating about this is, of the ones we've talked about so far, this is the only one that's not an original. This is this is a book. This is a Cormac McCarthy book, which I read last year. The book is incredible. It's a really good book. It's funny because you guys started out the gate comparing this to Raising Arizona. I feel like this is Fargo without a happy ending.
Well, I see that too.
Yeah, like this is Fargo, where at the end of Fargo, it's Marge saying, "I just don't understand the violence in the world," right?
Yeah.
But she caught the bad guy.
Yeah.
At the end of this, Tommy Lee Jones is going, "I just don't understand the violence in the world," but he didn't catch the bad guy. And he's realizing that this is No Country for Old Men. He's too old for this shit. I think that that's so interesting that it's not even written by them. It's not even their subject matter, but it feels like exactly the sort of themes and stuff that they go for.
Yeah.
But it's not even just the opposite of Fargo. It's that it's making you think it's Fargo, and then it pulls out the rug from you and saying it's actually not Fargo.
I don't think it's opposite. I think it's like the same, but they divert at the end.
Well, it's crazy though, because you're watching the movie and you're thinking it's Fargo, not it's Fargo, but you know what I mean. It's that kind of a story, right?
Yeah.
And then when they pull the rug out from you, you go, what the fuck? And then you think to yourself, no, it's called No Country for Old Men. It's not like they were even hiding it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's the name of the movie, but you're just, I think as audiences, we're used to being passive too and having things told to us, right?
Yeah.
And this movie doesn't really do that so overtly. It's not about what every other movie is about. Do you know what I mean? Like, I actually think the ending is interesting too, because I see different interpretations of it. Like you're saying that it's about how the world is so violent and he can't deal with it anymore. I kind of see it as the world has always been really violent, but because he's old, he's thinking a lot more about his mortality.
Yeah.
And he can't deal with it anymore. When he talks about his dream at the end, he mentions like, I had the dream about my father and I'm 20 years older than he ever was. You know what I mean? Like he's thinking about his age, he's thinking about his mortality. And I see Llewyn's character, I see him as almost a younger version of Tommy Lee Jones's character, right? Of Moss. Not exactly the same, but just in the way that a young man thinks they're invincible, right? He takes the money and he thinks he's going to get away. He sees himself as the hero.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he has the opportunity to drop it and none of this shit's going to happen. The bad stuff that happens to his wife, the bad stuff that happens to him, to everybody, right? But he thinks he's invincible because he's young and he doesn't think about his mortality.
Yeah, sure.
That's great.
But I don't think either interpretation is right or wrong. And I think that's part of what's great about the movie. It actually encourages you to think about it and to interpret it in the way that you see it.
We talked about the lack of music too right off the bat. I think to your point about, you know, the interpretations of this movie, there's a lot of scenes with no dialogue or very little dialogue. You know, it almost just feels like what's going to happen is inevitable a little bit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everything that's happening is like fated to happen.
Well,
There
isn't
are
that what
moments
Anton Chigurh as a character is?
Yeah,
fate,
right.
Yeah.
He's
Kind
death
of.
and fate as a character.
Yeah, for sure. And it's interesting because like I think like Big Lebowski, the inciting incident is really great where it just happens. And I love Josh Brolin just when he sees the cartel bus. Like there's that it's like one line of dialogue. He walks in, there's all this massacre, there's all this carnage, and then he knows, all right, there's probably some money here. Like he's not stupid. And he follows it and he knows, like you said, Johnny, when he picks it up, he knows that it's not going to be easy. But he thinks he can get away with it.
Yeah.
And it is weird that he dies off screen kind of unceremoniously. You're rooting for him the whole time thinking, oh, him and his wife are going to get away with it. And they don't.
Yeah.
Her getting killed is tragic and
It's
cruel
so
as
brutal.
well.
Yeah.
Well, do you think she dies?
Yes.
Yeah, she definitely
I don't
dies.
think that's up for interpretation, to be honest, because it's shown multiple times that every time he kills somebody, he looks at his boots for blood. And then he goes and then whatever. But she has an amazing scene there because he thinks he's fate and he's inevitable, right?
Right.
That's how he sees himself. He's a force of nature. He doesn't take responsibility for his killings, right? That's
right. It's not his
why
fault.
He's
It's
a
the coin.
sociopath.
He has to do it, whatever.
Exactly. But she confronts him with that. And even though he does kill her, she makes it be his fault. And he has to take ownership over that specific action, right?
Yeah.
And then after that, he crumbles a little bit, gets hit by the car. Like, it shows that he's mortal. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like
totally.
almost her action of taking away his mystical power of being this force has made him mortal.
Yeah.
What's interesting about it, though, is I don't disagree with that interpretation, but I think that the movie does not stray away from showing violence. I mean,
No.
Literally, I started watching the movie. The movie opens. He's choking the guy out on the floor with the handcuffs. His blood is shooting out of the guy's neck. The boots are scraping up the ground. I'm like, this movie's brutal is the first thing I wrote down. So it's interesting that that's the one murder, if it happens, that is not shown on screen, right?
There's a couple,
and I think that that's an interesting
that aren't shown. Like
I guess Llewyn's is not shown, but by him specifically.
Yeah.
It's an interesting choice to leave it up to interpretation a little bit of like, did he walk away and she didn't call it and he didn't kill her, or did he just do it himself and then, like you're saying, Johnny, take responsibility for it for the first time?
Yeah.
They show him kill everybody else he kills. He chokes the guy out. He blasts the guy in the head with the cattle thing. He shoots Woody Harrelson's character.
That's a great part too. You have
Yeah.
this guy come in, immediately gets killed. Immediately. Just walks right to him, gets fucked immediately.
we talked about like the pacing of the Coens with like the scene where the dude is putting the doorstop up, right? The whole scene, you know he's gonna die. It's not a very dialogue heavy movie. That's one of the more dialogue heavy scenes in the film. The moment when the phone starts ringing, you're like, this is it. He's getting shot. And it waits so long, like just long enough that you go, oh, is he not going to shoot him?
Yeah.
And then he does.
Yeah.
But he's the opposite of Llewellyn's wife, right? He's basically telling him, you don't have to do this.
Yeah, he's begging for his life. Yeah.
Yeah, he's trying to convince him. And later on in the movie, she's not trying to convince him. She goes, you have to make the decision. I'm not going to make it for you.
But so that begs the question then, did he make the decision or does he let her live? Right?
I think he killed her.
No, I
guess you don't
I think
know
that's
for
totally
sure.
fair. But like we know what he does if you beg for your life. He doesn't give a shit, right? He'll take you out. But if you don't and you say, no, I don't care. Kill me if you want to kill me. Does he actually think to himself, I'm going to do it?
Either way, it breaks him. Webb, how much have you lost in a coin toss?
Lost it all.
You've lost all?
Lost it all.
You started from scratch?
You're still here, dude.
I still made it.
So not all, mostly all.
Like
You got the clothes on your back.
90%.
What would you say if he comes to you?
Tails.
I'd probably say heads.
Yeah, I'm going for heads. Tails is crazy.
Tails is a crazy one.
Tails is like a thumbs down, you know what I mean? Heads is a thumbs up. Are you one of those tails never fails kind of people?
Yeah, tails never fails, dude. Exactly.
Well, it does.
Yeah, 50% of the time.
50%.
Yeah, 50-50. Either it does or it doesn't. All right, so here's a difficult question. Where do you guys want to rank this one?
It is difficult.
Oh.
This movie in particular, I think, is really difficult to rank amongst the other ones.
I'd say it's probably top of all these.
Top for you, okay.
As much as I think this movie is a cinematic achievement of storytelling, I probably would put it second because I think that if we're talking about the Coen Brothers and I'm thinking about how much I like the Coen Brothers for all these aspects of them, I think Fargo maybe is the greatest balance of it all. It's got comedy, it's got great visuals, it's got great characters, it's got a great story, it's got darkness, it's got, you know what I mean? It's got everything. I think that this movie obviously leans into the darkness.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like, oh, it should have more wacky, zany characters, because obviously it's not the tone of the movie. But I think I'm just drawn to comedy, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I would put it second.
I would also put it second. It can't beat Fargo for me. I love Fargo.
When I first watched this movie, I laid in bed staring at the ceiling.
Yeah, it is dark.
It is that kind of movie where because I literally just watching it again, I just sort of sat on the couch and just sort of like watched the credits in full.
I mean, Webb's just like a moody guy, guys. Like he's just.
Webb is a movie guy.
What are you talking about?
I just asked you what the most you lost in a coin toss was, and you said everything.
I said everything.
Yeah,
it's true.
It's because you just watched No Country for Old Men, and you've got that long stare, like you're fucking dead inside.
What's this life worth? You know.
Last up on the list for today, Inside Llewyn Davis, 2013.
Another sad one.
This is completely different than all the ones we've talked about so far.
This one's sadder than No Country for Old Men to me.
What?
You think
really?
so?
I think because
it is It is a depressing movie.
I think No Country for Old Men is more existential. You know what I mean? I think that this movie's just straight up sad.
Sure, it is sad. It's like takes place in the winter too.
It's so bleak, dude. It's such a
color
bleak
palette's
film.
insane in this movie.
Oh, I love it.
It's supposed to make you feel dreary and like, ugh, this sucks.
It's supposed to make you feel like you don't have a fucking winter coat.
Yeah. You're out in the cold.
What a fucking thing to be in New York in the winter and not have a jacket.
Again, though, we didn't talk about it with the last movie. I don't think the setting again.
Yeah.
It's just like the amount of detail into the setting, and not just New York as a setting, right? Because New York is a basic film setting. New York, but in the folk music scene of the early 60s.
Yeah, Greenwich Village.
The amount of detail that's there to make you feel it and be like, this is a place I want to be for the next 2 hours. You know what I mean? In this scene, listening to this music, being around these kinds of creative people, it's really effective.
It feels really like fleshed out, and I don't know what it is about this movie that feels more lived in than like other I guess period pieces to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like something about it like I just really buy into, where it's like, yeah, I these characters are very much living in this specific time and this
it's got
place.
a grit to it.
Yeah, I think that's what
helps
it. Like normally when you see things that like take place in the 60s, they really play up the the hairstyles and the colors and this and that. But this one, it's like, no, that's like, it's not as caricatured, but it still feels very authentic to that like time and place.
You know what it makes me think of? You know when people make models, whether it's like digital 3D models or even like little figurines where they paint like for like Warhammer and Dungeons and Dragons, right? They'll buy these figures and they'll paint them like paint by numbers, and they won't look that good.
Yeah.
But then they add the layer of weather where they like brush the black on it, and it goes in all the crevices, and it makes it look like a little bit weathered and a little bit dirty. And now all of a sudden it looks fantastic. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's that, but it's in a movie.
Absolutely that, yeah. No, it's great. I love it, and it's part of the reason I think I return to it so often.
I think what's interesting about this one is we've talked a little bit over the course of this of sort of the Venn diagram of Coen Brothers films and sort of the things that keep coming up on all of their movies. This character feels, Llewyn Davis, I mean, feels not like a Coen Brothers character in the traditional sense. And I think it's really interesting because he's bitter. He's
he's completely bitter.
Well, he even feels like a character that, like, to me at least, that is like, under the right circumstances, like very charismatic, like warm even, but he's just like he's
too far gone.
In the time that we're seeing him in this movie, he's just like had a really just tough, like week even. You know what I mean? Like
I was gonna say, what does the movie take place over? Like a week, maybe 2 weeks.
I think so.
I don't know how long the road trip is. It's like a little bit unclear.
So.
No, but that's the thing about it, right? Is he's such an asshole, but you don't hate him.
No,
you want him to get better. You want him to succeed and become a better person.
Well, you keep waiting for it.
And there's something to that. Do you know what I mean? It's like an understanding as an audience of sympathy, you know what I mean, for what he's been through with the loss of his partner and also just the shitty circumstances in his life where he's over and over again throughout the movie. Every time he sings a song, I mean, the dude bears his fucking soul every time. Do you know what I mean? And every time he basically gets shit on right afterwards, and it gets back to reality. And you see why he's so jaded, but you want him to not be.
Yeah.
Even if he doesn't succeed, you want him to be nicer. You want him to recognize the people in his life that are on his side, but he just can't.
And when it's a thing where you keep waiting for him to do it, but then also at the same time, in this short time we spend with him, it's just like nothing goes right? It's just Murphy's Law, the movie. The cat gets out. The cat then escapes from the window. He's gonna crash on his friend's couch. Turns out they already offered it to somebody else, so he's got to sleep on the floor. The people he's road tripping with to go meet this guy are doing heroin in the bathroom. Like, it's just every single thing goes wrong, every step of the way.
He can't even quit. He can't even quit well.
Right. Exactly.
So good.
Exactly. Yeah. He sings a shitty song, Please Mr. Kennedy, that he thinks is dog shit. He forgoes the royalties. Turns out it's going to be a big hit. Like, he just.
But he's fucking himself over too, though, because he's being
every
a dick.
Decision he makes is the wrong decision.
But I think a big part of this movie is about how art is about connecting with people, right? And he has lost the ability to connect with anybody because of the loss of his partner. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you understand it.
Yeah.
He's lost his partner. It's clearly taken an extremely, extremely heavy toll on him as a person and him creatively. But he's still trying to grind it out. But he's unable to be a successful artist because he's so closed off.
Yeah.
That's why every place he goes, right? Like he's getting these, like the Hey, Mr. Kennedy thing. He's a dick about it, right? They invite him. He needs the money. He's like, who the fuck wrote this? To the guy who invited him. He's a fucking douchebag about it. And then I think in one of the, maybe like the climax of the movie, he is talking to that guy who's the recording artist, producer, I guess he is, right? Grossman, who owns that place, and he can get people's careers going. And what does he say to him? He says, like, you need to be in a group. You're not a front man. and then he goes, fuck that. I don't want to do that. Like, he denies it again.
Yeah.
And then he goes, you should get back with your partner. And as an audience, you take that as, that's fucked up that he said that, but he doesn't know that the guy died, right? But really, I think it's actually good advice because he's somebody who has just cut off all connectivity in his life. Another example of that too is that he learns partway through the movie that he has a son or a daughter, right? He has a kid somewhere, and he's driving back, and he has the ability to again go make a connection with somebody that he really should go meet his kid, and he chooses not to. Yeah,
it's a really just beat you down movie, but but grounded in really great performances that I think is kind of to your point, Johnny, about why you root for Llewyn. Is I think Oscar Isaac is just an incredibly charismatic performer, and like you said, when he sings, he bears his soul. Like the songs are all recorded live. You can really tell it feels really authentic.
Yeah, his singing is really amazing in the movie. He should have gotten an award for this movie.
And you really connect with him. And then you have that moment of like, oh damn, like he could be somebody. And then you see the in between and you're like, what a fucking dick.
Well, and you feel for him and you want him to succeed because of the loss of his partner. You know what I mean? You could recognize how that would be so devastating and hard, and clearly he hasn't been able to get over it. What do you guys think of the ending of the movie? Because it's, again, a little ambiguous, a little interesting.
The idea of it is to sort of be like, he's never going to get out of this cycle. He's gonna continue to be an asshole, and he's gonna continue to just sing songs for the basket and make enemies because that's the kind of guy he is, and he can't see what he needs to do. Meanwhile, Bob Dylan is playing at the club right now.
I do think that is part of it. I don't think he's going to succeed, but I don't know if I think he's never going to get out of it.
I think he's at least sort of, in some sense, like made peace with himself by the end of the movie.
Yes.
I don't think he's going to be a success. I think that's like kind of what this movie is about. It's just like kind of the toll that art takes on a person. Not entirely. I think it's also like what you guys were saying too about like art is also about connecting with people. And I think that's something he's struggling to do ever since he lost his partner. Because I just think that like kind of creative partnership is something that's like very rare. And I think with like him especially, it's maybe like the one thing that like kind of probably helped it like make sense. So it's the most of the movie is him trying to like grapple with that. But there's something about that last scene that makes it feel like, okay, he's at least like processed that, and he's a little better off than he was in the beginning. Even if that doesn't,
I feel that
even
way
if
too.
that doesn't mean that like he's going to be like a huge success. And I kind of like too the fact that like the end with like Bob Dylan, it's just like kind of the perfect like cherry on top of like just a giant joke of like a plot of like just every worst possible thing happening to him, you know?
It's not about him becoming successful. It's about him accepting that his love of art, he's going to get punched in the face a bunch of times, but he's going to get back up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
totally.
I think another thing that speaks to that too is at the end, he sleeps in the apartment again and he wakes up, and this time he blocks the cat from leaving.
Yes.
Sure. Like, he's learned a little bit.
That's a distinct difference between the start and the end. So like I as some people see it like, oh, he's just stuck in the cycle forever. I think that it's a tiny bit more hopeful than that. Mm-hmm. Maybe he's not a huge success, but he's learning and he's getting better little by little.
Yeah.
Want to talk about Adam Driver and his amazing singing?
That whole like that reveal. Well, yeah, when it's just him doing like what is he saying like before they start recording? Is he just doing like vocal exercises?
Yeah, I think he's just going like
making noises.
Space. Outer space.
And like just the looks that like Llewyn is giving at him like every once in a while, like.
Well, that's another great moment too, where Llewyn meets this guy. He thinks he's a loser. He doesn't like him. You could tell.
He thinks he's better than him.
He thinks he's better than him. But Llewyn's out on his ass. He asks him to crash on his couch. The guy says yes. Doesn't even know him. And he gets there with his box of records that didn't sell. And he looks, and Al Cody's got a box of records. So like they're the same. Mm-hmm. Like Llewyn is no better than him, but he thinks he is, right?
If anything, Llewyn's worse because he doesn't have a place. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
yeah, exactly.
Totally.
But the difference is that guy's attitude is not as bad because he's happy for the gig, for the Spaceman song, right? And he's doing a stupid part. Maybe he also thinks it's stupid, but he's not saying it and he's not showing it.
All right, where do you guys want to rank Inside Llewyn Davis?
Another tough one.
That's so tough. This one's tough too because like this one is it's just so different from all these. Like, is this the only like non-crime one that we've watched?
Yeah, true.
Like that's crazy.
Yeah, true. I mean,
they do honestly have a big crime thing.
I know.
I was about to say, honestly though, how many Coen Brothers movies are even not crime movies?
I know, it's true. Like I was trying to think of another one.
Even most of the other ones, I've not seen all their
like
films.
Burn After
most
Reading,
of the ones that I have seen,
Oh Brother,
that aren't included. Yeah, crime movie, Oh Brother, crime, True Grit, crime.
You could say Llewyn not being successful was a crime.
I would maybe say like 3.
So above Lebowski and above Arizona for you?
Yeah.
Okay. Johnny?
It's hard with this one. It's again the thing with like No Country for Old Men, right? Where it's like this movie's so sad, but it's also so good. I probably put it 4 because I have more nostalgia with Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
But in some ways, I think this is a better movie. In some ways, I think it's a worse movie. Like, yeah, I'll probably do 4.
Yeah, I think, well, you know what? This is weird because I kind of agree with you, Johnny. It's a weird one to rank because I sort of feel like this is a better movie than Lebowski in Arizona. But I think I like it less than both of them. So I think I'm going to put it last. So it'll go in 4th where you said, Johnny.
Whoa.
Nice, I win.
Even though I think it's a better movie, I just feel like I'm drawn to Raising Arizona and Lebowski, and I really the rewatchability of those two and the fun of those two just puts them above for me on the ranking, even if I don't think they're necessarily objectively better films. Objectively, in my opinion, I'm going to put this below them.
To be clear, I think all of these movies are actually amazing.
Yeah, they're all really
I
good.
honestly think it's really difficult to rank these. I think if you asked me in winter, I'd probably put Inside Llewyn Davis number 1.
Yeah, right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that there's a lot of factors about like where you are emotionally and what you're looking for that's going to impact how you would rank these movies. But I think any ranking that anybody told me of these 5 movies would be valid. I wouldn't be mad.
All right. Well, the Rats on Film official ranking for a selection of movies by the Coen Brothers, objectively in our opinion, starting from the bottom: Raising Arizona, Inside Llewyn Davis, The Big Lebowski, No Country for Old Men, and The Big Cheese, Fargo.
Fargo. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Not bad at all.
Do we move on with our lives now?
Yeah, we do.
Very
But
cool.
we go be depressed and stare at the ceiling.
I'll flip a coin.
No, I didn't watch No Country for Old Men today. Webb will.
I'm gonna
I could talk
I'm gonna
about
decide if I'll keep going on with my life by flipping a coin.
You already lost everything, so what's to lose anymore, you know?
Everything else.
I'll flip a cat. And
if it scratches you, then what?
then I'll go get a rabies shot.
Flipping this cat determines if I get a rabies shot.
If I get rabies or not.
Hey, thanks for listening to Rats on Film, everybody. Tell a friend about the show where a bunch of little rats talk about and rank movies. Rate us 5 stars on your podcast platform of choice. Follow us, Rats on Film Pod, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We'll post this list and all the future lists we make on Letterboxd. You can follow us there as well. And we will be back in 2 weeks to talk about and rank some more movies. And someday we'll probably come back and do some more Coen Brothers movies, maybe with another brother in the mix. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.